All right, guys, we're back with Your Biggest Critic podcast. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this guest today. I'm in awe that she is on. Rachel Gomber is our guest today. She is a wife. She is a mother of two adorable little boys. She's a content creator for Instagram and TikTok. But more importantly, she's an advocate. And I'm so excited for her to come on and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media. Recently, Rachel has been getting a little bit of the ugly, which I think is a perfect opportunity to talk about what's been going on about social media. We always say to be our true authentic selves on social media, and that's how we're going to change. And people like Rachel are their true authentic selves, telling their stories on how they got here, and they get hate for it or they get backlash for it. So today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly with Rachel Gomber, and I'm so excited. But before we dive into the chat that we're about to have, I would love for Rachel to tell us a little bit about her story and give her introduction. So thank you, Rachel, so much for coming on.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
But anyway, my name is Rachel. I mainly do TikTok, but kind of a little bit of Instagram too. But I started about a year and a half ago in the middle of COVID when I feel like everyone was like on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took off from there. And I've been learning a lot and doing a lot, and I still post it. I mainly do I feel like my niche on TikTok is like my family, like my husband and my kids, but also like our life through baseball. My husband does play professional baseball, and it is, a little bit of a different life, us moving and our lifestyle. And so I do try to share as much of the behind the scenes of that as possible. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess, how I got started.
That's awesome. Rachel is in Texas and we are in Raleigh. So of course we're Zooming and because of COVID, but thank you so much again, Rachel, for coming on. I'm sure your life is so busy with two kids and baseball and other things. So thank you so much.
Of course. I'm so excited.
So we're going to start off today talking about, I guess, Rachel, you just said your start of your social media journey. So do you want to add anything to that, or?
Yeah, I guess the start, a lot of people are like, oh, how'd you get into it? And to be honest, I didn't even feel like I tried to get into it. It was beginning of COVID, and everyone was so bored. Yes, I was taking care of a toddler, but so boring. So, download TikTok. And so at first I was like, I would never post on that app. No, my gosh. And then, I started seeing other trends of people, and I was like, wait, this is crazy. So I randomly made my first TikTok, and the first one had 350,000 views, and I had 10,000 followers overnight. And I was like, whoa, what is this? This is crazy. So, just kept posting and posting. And then after a month or two, I'm getting brands reaching out to pay me. And I just kind of kept up with it, because why not, realizing I felt like there was a niche there that certain people liked. Also, certain people hate that same niche, but I don't know. So I enjoy it. I really do enjoy the majority of it, but there is also a lot behind it that I think a lot of people don't see or realize. I never noticed it before either. I always thought, oh, wow, an influencer, a content creator, whatever you want to call them. I'm like, wow, that looks so cool. What a cool job. But I don't think a lot of people realize the toughness behind it, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you have to have tough skin, but like everybody else, everybody was so bored over quarantine. And actually that's when the app started developing. So when you got on the app and you were developing, you're developing with it. Which is super cool to see, because you have people like you sharing your true authentic story, but then you have people like Charli D'Amelio, who kind of got on the same time as you, and she's sharing her true authentic story through her dancing through TikTok and her family. And so I think it's really cool to have two kind of different generations come on and talk and give us insight on how it is. But I also think people don't realize the behind the scenes of it. When you read a hate comment or you read a comment that you're like, oh, that one hurt, and
yes.
I'm excited to talk about that today, because I think a lot of influencers put on a tough face for social media, because they do think oh, I have brand deals, my life can't be that bad, other people are going through it worse. But they also need to give grace to themselves and be like, well, that comment's not fair to me, because I know who I am, and that comment does not reflect me or my family.
Couldn't agree more.
And so I'm excited.
Or even if we do show that sometimes those things do bother us, then we get hate saying, oh, quit complaining. Oh, your life, you have the most perfect life. Quit complaining.
But there's no such thing as a perfect life. Like there's literally none. Everybody's life is perfect in their ways. And if we all had the same perfect life, our world would be so boring, or we would all end up hating each other. So what's the point of saying perfect life? There literally nothing's perfect. I mean, look what we're living in now, you know? What would you say that your favorite and least favorite part of social media is?
So my favorite part is definitely, I actually do really love like the creative side to it. I love creating content. I love like following like the trends and like including my niche in it, but then also like working with brands and they're like, hey, like this is, you know, what we're trying to get across. Like, how can you like turn this into like a creative concept? So I do really like that it like stretches my creativity. My parents always said I was pretty creative. So I really like that I'm using that.
Yeah.
And then also I love being able to like share my family and you know, I also was a dancer my whole life. So I like doing the dances. Like I do like a lot of it. I really do. But then yeah, the negative part is definitely the hate or the amount of people that I think they just don't necessarily like they get it or they don't get you or they don't know you or yeah, and especially because it comes in waves. So there's times, you know, I mean, I try to put on a front and act like it doesn't bother me, but I mean, I've also come a long way in a year and a half. Like I would say, oh my gosh, like some of these comments like really bothered me in the beginning. Like I really struggled with it. And also I think a lot of it too is like my age. Thank God I'm 25. I can't imagine if I got some of these comments at like 15. Like I don't think I would have been as like emotionally
move forward.
Yeah, like I literally probably just would have like bent over and just cried. Like whereas thankfully I don't do that now, but also that doesn't mean it's also hurtful too when like you see the comments and you're like, gosh, that's just so not true about me too. Like it's like, gosh,
you try and defend yourself, and then and then when you defend yourself, it's almost like you're digging yourself a deeper hole. And when does that become just? I feel like hating it's become such a norm, but we don't know each other on a raw, authentic level. So who are we to judge? When we judge, that means we don't like something about ourselves and we're portraying on somebody else.
Mm-hmm. I've had some people comment and they'll be like, oh, well, this is why you get hate because you're this, and this. And I'm like, well, how do you like, I was like, I don't respond, but I'll be like, well, how do you know I'm this, and this? Like I post like once a day on TikTok, maybe sometimes twice a day, like 30-second videos. So how can you really truly know exactly who I am and how I am over me sharing maybe 5 minutes of my life every week? Exactly. Like, you can't. So
exactly. And again, who are we to judge? Because we all have faults. We all have things we're working on, but that doesn't mean you take it to social media and you think we think we know everybody on social media. We think we're besties with everybody on social media because we see their lives in 5-minute clips, like you just said. And boom, we think we know everybody, but we don't know what goes on when the camera stops rolling and you finish that dance and you have to, you know, go make dinner or go travel or go change a diaper, you know, like
there's a lot of those going on.
Yeah, we don't know what goes on after the camera stops rolling and you see comments or your everyday life. We just see the glamorous parts. And I think that's why a lot of content creators are trying to step away from the glamorous parts and be like, well, this is what I do in my everyday life. And these are the meetings I have, or like I wake up and sometimes I don't feel like getting out of bed and I struggle just like you, or I'm 15 and I'm just like you, but with the following. Absolutely. You don't change with the following. You are the same person. And I don't think a lot of people realize that because we glamorize content creators. And it's only been a year and a half of this. And I think content creators are great. I really love them. It's hard to see the hate comments, like, because I even sometimes scroll through and see like what people say, and I'm like, we don't know. I want to say we don't know these people. Like,
yes, it blows my mind. Or even that people would even just make a comment. Like, I just don't understand why you can't just keep scrolling. But
yeah. Oh no, we're very opinionated these days.
Nice.
I don't even know what generation we're on. Are we Generation Y or something?
That's a good question. I think I'm a millennial. I'm like the last year of a millennial. I know that.
I think I'm Gen Z. I don't know what my cousin's generation are, but they cannot keep anything to themselves. We've got to put it on social media.
It's so crazy to me too, because I feel like I grew up, at least my parents teaching me, like in high school, it was like, hey, like you be careful what you post on social media because that sticks with you. And then in college, I carried it through college, like knowing like, okay, I'm going to go and try to have a career after this. Like, if you don't think that a company is not checking your social media before they hire you, like you're wrong. Like they are 100% checking you. And if they were to see some of these people, but also that's where I think all the fake accounts come from. I would say about 50% of my mean comments are from like, they have no profile picture, no followers, aren't following anyone, nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, it's a
That's
fake account.
interesting.
They'll hide behind, and that's the easiest part. They can hide behind a fake profile or hide behind a keyboard and a computer, and then you technically have no idea who it is. It's a fake name. It's something like this. And so I don't know. I'm not really quite sure the reasoning behind those, but
I know it would be interesting to hear why. And I honestly sometimes just think it's pure jealousy is, okay, well, I'm on TikTok just like these people are, and my content's getting nowhere, but theirs boomed and look where they are now. I think a lot of people are wondering, well, if it's the algorithm, then why isn't the algorithm picking up my content? And so a lot of it, I think, has to do with jealousy of your lifestyle, probably, or other content creators' lifestyle. But we also have to remember that just because you see a 5-minute video doesn't mean their life is really that glamorous.
So true. So true. And I do try to, share the good, the bad, and the ugly. I tried to share, I had a couple of videos during baseball season this year where I shared the behind the scenes that, hey, like our life is awesome. Like this baseball life that we live is really cool, but also like there are certain non-glamorous things that we do. We move 3 times a year. My son misses his dad constantly. Austin's away half the baseball season. They play 162 games and half of those are on the road. And so then, I share a video of Beckham crying because his dad left for 10 days, and I'm getting comments, oh, stop crying. People have it so much worse than you. And I'm like, I can't win. Like
you can't win. You can't win on social media. And that's sad because it's a little boy who's literally missing their dad. And just think, this is Austin's job. So just like this is just an example. Like, let's say my dad had to go travel for work and I'm Beckham's age and I'm crying at my front door. What's the difference between me posting a video and then you posting the same video? It's because you're a content creator.
I think so. But it also blows my mind. Like, I was talking to someone else too, a couple months ago, and she's been a blogger for years and years, and she's on Instagram, but, and she was like, this is so crazy. She's like, when did it turn? Like, when did it turn that we just hate influencers now, or content creators, whatever you want to call us? When did it turn that we just hate on them? Because years ago, she was like, I signed with Amazon, and it was probably one of the happiest days of my life. Like, I was so excited and so proud, and I worked for this. And we used to be, people like actually like were nicer. And she's like, and now it's to the point where she's like, I feel like I'm attacked every single day for my job of like on Instagram. And I don't know when it turned. Like, when did it turn and why?
I know. It really is mind blowing because even like I'm 22. So even when Facebook came on and when I was in middle school, and then Instagram and Snapchat was in high school, and maybe 8th grade going into high school for me. And then now TikTok was freshman, sophomore year of college. I'm a senior in college now. And it's like TikTok took off and now look where we're at. Like, and I don't know. I have problems with TikTok, but then I also love it because there's people like you sharing your raw, authentic selves, which we need more of on social media. But then I hate that we have things called hate comments and T pages and
there's the T pages of the worst.
Have you been on any T pages?
I don't think I have that I know of. Like them like talking about me. I don't think so, but like I have like run into them and I'm like, gosh, like this page is literally they're just hating on people.
I know. And it's like, how do you have time to do this? Like I have no time to sit on a computer and type me things.
I'm wondering. No idea. But yeah, TikTok's great because it's really great because the algorithm is so much better than like Instagram. For example, it's so much easier to grow because it's so much easier to get on someone's For You page. On Instagram, there's no For You page. So I'm not really quite sure how people really grow on Instagram. So that's the one great thing about TikTok. But also that's also the problem with TikTok is because you're on everyone's For You page. And it's just, they'll feed off of each other. And a lot of times for me, like the hate will come in waves. I'll post a couple videos that everyone loves and it's very, very sweet. And then, I posted a video about a month ago and it was like 2,000 comments of just pure hate. Like it's it's crazy because then it comes in waves. So, I'll have a couple weeks I'm like, okay, like thankfully people are being nice. And then all of a sudden it just like hits you. And it's like a whole weekend of just every time you open up the app, it's you're ugly, you're this, you're that, your eyebrows, your hair, your husband, your
And
kids.
it's attacking your character. It's not even like,
Yes.
like the dances that you have no control over because you didn't make the dances. It's your character. And that's when we should have a problem with it. Also, if you're a parent and you're listening, check your kids' phones because
Okay. Yes. That's another one that's bothered me. I'm like, how are these? It's a lot of young kids too. There's been multiple like young girls, and I'm like, what? Like, where are your parents? Like, my gosh, I hope I'm thankfully I have 2 kids because I'm gonna hopefully raise them to be so much better than that. Or even, the worst ones, probably the most hurtful ones is when I'll see it. I don't see all of them hit mean comments. If I open up the app and it's there, I'll look at it, and honestly, I'll delete a lot of it too. Like, and then I'll get hate for, oh, you delete comments. I'm like, who cares? Of course I'm going to delete. Like, some of these are so mean. But there's some I'll click on and it's a mom with like a 2-year-old daughter. And I'm like, how are you? You're a mom and you're hating. Like, that's scary that you're raising our next generation, yet you are so mean on social media. Like, that's scary to me.
And I think that's where I have the biggest problem is this is our next generation who is surrounded by social media. I grew up in elementary school, not having a phone, not having an iPad, didn't know what YouTube was at all. I think it was around. It might not have even been around, but
I think now my sister played on Club Penguin until like high school. So
yes, I remember Club Penguin.
That was our social media.
Oh, Webkins.
Yep, we did that one too. Oh, I had like 15 at one point.
Oh yeah, Christmas present, the best Christmas present.
Yes.
But I had that, and now all these young people are like, I will like babysit, and the kids will be like, want to do a TikTok dance with me, and I'm like, how do you guys know these?
Like get off. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's horrible. But then there are other parents who realize what TikTok is, and they're like, we're having a talk with our kids, and like we're gonna wait, which I think is good, but also I don't know. It's like such a hard play as like, do we let them know what social media is so they can know not what to do, or do we hide social media from our generation because then it saves other people from hate? Like what? True. There's like no, you can't win is basically what I'm trying to say.
That's what I've tried to learn is I'll never win. But, I think my parents did really, really well. I hated it back then. I hated it. I complained about it all the time, but they were hawks on my phone. My phone had to go up every night. I'm pretty sure they went through it quite a bit, but it wasn't them being nosy. It wasn't them, oh, like what's she doing? It was making sure I'm doing things right and not going out there and just hating on people on social media, because those words do hurt. They really do at some point. And so, but it's like parents, I don't know if they just don't do that anymore, that they don't look through their parents' phone or have parent controls. My dad was in IT, so he knew what parent controls were when I was like 13 years old. Like he was like super computer techie. Like I had everything locked down.
Well, nowadays there's like where I can't remember, was I babysitting or something, or maybe it was like one of my friends who had a younger sister, but like their Wi-Fi goes off at like 9:30 on school nights.
That's awesome.
That now. And good. So their stuff like turns off, and it's like you either have to play a board game or go to bed. Like, you don't, like TVs are off, like everything is off at like, I think it's like 9 or 9:30. But I love that. And I
hated it back then. I hated it back then, but now I totally get it. So
for sure. What does Austin say about the hate?
Okay, actually, this is one thing that like I am so thankful of, because he is so great with it. So this is one, it's really nice because he gets it too. So he, more than anybody, gets it. His is a little, no one's, saying, hey, you're ugly, or hey, you're, I don't know, personal, but he'll have 5 great games, and then he'll have one game where he flat out, he just didn't do good. He didn't have a good game, and he'll get 5 to 10 death threats in his DMs. So it's not that I'm thankful he's getting death threats, or thankful that he's getting this hate, or thankful like, oh, you suck so bad, you should be working at McDonald's. But I'm really thankful because he gets it. And so he, he's able, he'll listen to it when I like complain about it, and he's pretty good at just being like, you just got to brush it off. Like it just comes with the territory. Like they don't know you. Like, no, they don't know who you are. They don't know your heart, or like who you stand for, or what you are, or anything. So he's like, just ignore it. Like he's like, half the people who are DMing me are couch potatoes sitting on their couch at are going nowhere in life. And he's like, and they're hating on me because I had one bad game, you know?
Yeah.
So he's really, really good about the hate, which is really nice because,
That's
you know,
good.
he experiences it too. So that's helpful.
That makes me sad because you guys are like the sweetest and you guys are like doing social media right. And it just, again, you can never win. It's just this life.
I've learned that can't win. You know, I'll do one thing and then someone hates that, and then I'll okay, I'll do the opposite, and then someone hates that, and
yeah,
or like even like the uncalled for comments, you know, like the like random ones. I'll just be like, "You're ugly," and I'm like, "What? What? Like, what the heck do you need to do with my content?" Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like, okay, comment about the dances because I didn't make up the dances.
Yeah, if you want to tell me I'm a terrible dancer, like sure, fine, like whatever, make that comment. But like, you know, or another one is, oh my gosh, like people just don't understand what people are going through. You know, I feel like I really, really started to get hate about a little over a year, about a year ago, when somebody messed up my hair, like really, really, really bad. And I cried about it. I was so upset about my hair. And then I would go on TikTok and post a video, and I was just getting like so much hate for my hair. I'm like, you guys don't realize, like somebody
I hate it too.
Like I hate it too. Like you guys are just making it worse. Or, you know, for, you know, the comments, you know, I've had people comment on my weight, and I'm like in the past few months, and I'm like, I'm 3 months postpartum. Like I can never imagine like going up to someone who just had a baby and is postpartum at all. Like you should not tell that woman anything besides you look great. Like that is it. And the amount of comments I get, like they're just like, oh, like you're this, you're that, you're fat, you're ugly, and I'm just like, you know, I just had a baby. Like, why are you saying these mean things to me? Like, I'm a little emotional right now.
Yeah, you might not want to strike this mom because she will strike back. She's a little emotional.
Sometimes I try. That's the one thing I tried my best not to. And Austin's super good about telling me this. He's like, don't respond. Literally just don't respond. Like they're not worth it. Sometimes I'll respond in videos. And I've definitely, there's been, you know, one woman, oh my gosh, she's come attacking. And I responded once and I was like, look in the mirror. And I was like, ooh, shoot. Okay, delete. That's just me. You can't, two wrongs don't make a right.
No, it's so hard. It is so hard. And like, do you have any advice for our future generation?
Gosh, oh my gosh. I wish I like knew, like I wish I knew what could fix it. I've shared like, you know, a couple things, like for example, I shared something on Instagram and it was like this big bubble. And it was like what the person is going through and this like tiny little dot in it. And it was like what you see. And it's so true. Like what you see of my life, like you have no, like, it's just, there's so much more to it. So like, you don't know, like maybe I am going through a hard time, not necessarily me, or maybe someone else is having a hard time or struggling or is, you know, struggling with anxiety or depression or anything mental health. I feel like everyone has some sort of like mental health going on at this point, or struggles in some way. So like, it's just, you don't know, like you can't see like what happens if you were, you know, some of the comments I get like, oh my gosh, like what happens if I was struggling, like really, really struggling right now? Like that could be the comment that pushed me over, like just push me overboard. And I think people don't think like that. Like they just think hurt people, and people are so hurt. And so they will try to just hurt you because they want you to be torn down. Like, you know, like the Taylor Swift song, it's like people throw rocks at things that shine or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if they see that you're shining, they'll just throw rocks at you. And so I don't know, I guess like all three of those things, like just remember, like no one's life is perfect. Like you don't know what they're going through. So just give them grace, be nice, like keep scrolling. And that's another one, you know, the comments I get all the time, I'll click on it randomly and it says, follow back. And I'm like, why are you following me if you hate me? Like just unfollow me. Unfollow me. If you want to block me, block me. If like, I don't care, but just like, don't, the comments are so unreal sometimes. They really are. So I guess, I don't know, just, I guess put yourself in their shoes and also know for the younger generation that like social media is there forever. Like if you leave a comment or if you want to give me a death threat, like that's there forever. And I guarantee you someone can go find that. So like, when you're trying to look for a job, if you're trying to look for a job, yet you're over here on TikTok, just like, you know, making mean comments. Like, I just remember that like social media is there forever. Whatever you post is up there forever. So,
and I hope the future generation knows that in a blink of an eye, social media could go away and something else can become big.
Absolutely.
I think that's really important to know is just because social media is so big right now, in 10 years, we could be I don't know, having flying cars at this point. Like, who knows? Like,
That's the way Tesla's going. I mean,
exactly. Like, I believe that social media can be used for good, but what I'm seeing right now is it's the ugly part, and we either need to change, or I mean, someone might take social media away, you know? I mean, Instagram and Facebook has already changed to Meta, and you know, TikTok can become like this in a blink of an eye, you know?
Absolutely. And you know, whatever happens, happens. But
Yeah.
I mean, I do hope that it gets better. And it is, you know, it isn't necessarily all bad. You know, I would say 95% comments are very nice, but also like, it's like, those aren't always the one that stick with you. You know, it's sometimes the mean ones. Like I'll get 10 super nice comments, and then it's just one that you're just like, oh, that hurt
in the heart.
Yeah. And then that's the one that like will stick with you sometimes. So,
and it's hard to look at social media and be like, oh, this is going well, and this is going well, because then you see the bad, and you're like, oh, no, that just ruined my, you know, and it's hard.
Absolutely. I've had issues like that where literally a comment has like not necessarily ruined my day, but kind of like put me in a funk. And I'm like, oh, like, but that was when I was to the point where I was like, okay, like I can't be doing this. Like I have kids. I need to like make sure that like these comments are not doing that, like not putting me in a funk, not changing, you know, my mood or the way that I am that day, just because, you know, someone wants to be mean and ugly.
Yeah. It's just mind boggling. I don't know. It really is how these kids just get away with it.
I agree. I talk about it with my sister all the time, and I was just like, can you like imagine like commenting something mean on someone's page? Like her and I were just like, we can't even like imagine that. Like that doesn't even like come into our head. Like, will I judge sometimes? Absolutely. If I see something on my For You page, I'm like, like I don't really like that. Just keep scrolling. Like never would
that's what I do.
Exactly. Never would I have thought like, oh, like I don't like this. I'm gonna leave you with this comment. Like I'm just like, wait, what? Like,
and I'm so sensitive that I would immediately apologize for my wrongdoing. I would be like, I'm so sorry.
yeah.
Like, I'd be like, I don't know, bumped into somebody, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know, like I'm just that person. And so I can't, I have not gotten any hate. Thank you, Jesus. But I cannot imagine, because it makes my heart hurt for others who are getting it for no reason.
Makes my heart hurt for people too that may not have like a support system like I do, or maybe younger. Like I said, I feel like as I've gotten older, I don't know if it's more confident in myself or less caring as to what people say. I'm not really quite sure, but like I said, I can't imagine. I mean, it's like a high school hallway on TikTok sometimes. Like I can't even imagine being 15 getting some of these comments.
I know. And like middle school.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like middle school, or even I can't even imagine being bigger. Did you watch the D'Amelio show on Hulu?
I did.
It was so good. First of all,
it?
I did, but I thought it broke my heart seeing those girls literally just melt down over some of the comments that they get. Like I can't even imagine. They've got like what, millions and millions. I don't know how many followers they have.
And Charlie and Dixie were just like you. The app was developing. Charlie got it for fun because her friends got it. They started making dances. Then all of a sudden she had views overnight. And then the next day she had like 10,000 or million. I don't know. I don't want to botch it, but like followers. And then
she happened so fast. I mean,
quarantine hit, and then she kept getting offers in LA, and they moved out to LA, and now look at their life. But I think without watching that documentary, you don't know that, and you don't know actually what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, did you see those binders of her like month to month?
Oh my gosh, yes. And she's still like, how old is she now? Like maybe 17? Like
she's 17, and she does not have a normal life. And I'm sure she is so grateful for the opportunities. And she is a very big advocate for mental health and like some dance company or something. But I mean, I can imagine being 17 and having your eyes, like everybody's on you all the time.
She literally has like the weight of the world on her shoulders. I feel like it's, yeah.
And I think more people need to either watch that documentary or make documentaries like that, so we can have those conversations like we are having today, because just people don't know what's going on in other people's lives. And it just makes me so upset. Like, you know, you could walk down the sidewalk with the nicest pair of shoes and have a really nice car, but that doesn't mean your life is perfect. And
That you could maybe not have a house. And just because, you know, you've got this, you know, looking like you're all together doesn't mean you have it all. Truly, it doesn't.
exactly. What would you say to those who have experienced hate? Would you give any advice, or, I mean, to younger generations, to other content creators? Do you have any other friends that are content creators that you can really kind of band together with?
I do, which is
Good.
really nice. So, you know, and it's just, I've met a few of them in person, but honestly, most of it's all over social media, but we do talk to a lot of them, still, and we're all kind of going through the same thing. And, you know, there's a couple other like athlete wives on TikTok too, that I've talked to them. I'm like, do you get this hate? Like, do you get called a gold digger all the time? Do you get told like all this like dumb stuff? And they're like, oh yeah, like we get it too. We get it too. But I feel like my biggest like thing is, I think in the beginning, I hid a lot of it, and I like kind of carried it myself. You know, I feel like it happened and I didn't, I don't know, I didn't want to tell people. Like, I didn't want like my family or like Austin knowing that like, hey, like, you know, all these people are calling me this name, or all these people are saying this about me, or, you know, people are telling me I don't know. I guess I didn't want to like share it. So I kind of just like kept it all to myself. And I feel like that made it like worse. Whereas now, like every once in a while, I'll like kind of like talk to people about it. And I think that's really helpful. So I guess just like don't like you don't have to carry it all on your own, because it's a lot. It's heavy. The amount of, I mean, I shared one video about pregnancy back in March, I think March probably. And it was so bad I turned off the comments because people were actually wishing like ill on my unborn child. Like some of it can get so heavy. And so just, yeah, just don't, I hope that you have someone that you can talk to, because ever since I've been able to, you know, kind of not hide it so much, or, you know, I would just sit there and just delete it and delete it. I would spend hours on TikTok just deleting mean comments. So, and I would never talk to like my family about it, Austin about it, no one. I didn't want anyone thinking like those things. You know, I kind of felt like, oh, if, you know, someone, you know, calls me, says, oh, I married my husband for money, then, and they see that comment, then everyone's going to think that. But like, it's not, I don't know, it's not true. So just,
Yeah, it's not like that, guys. Like, I don't know you and Austin's story, but I mean, well, kind of like he DM'd you, right? I saw
yeah,
that.
yes, but also like he was in the minors at the time, and I actually just posted a video the other day, and I put in the caption, I was like, actually, I was making more than him when we met, and I was serving tables at a Mexican
I
restaurant.
saw that video because
Yeah.
someone had like clapped back at you for like being like a gold digger or something, and I
Yes,
saw that video, and you're like,
yes.
actually, I was
It
making
was
more
like,
than him.
tell me you married for money without telling me. And I was like, actually, like, no, we've been together and I was making more money than him then. So not that I wasn't making anything, but I mean, yeah, if anyone knows like the minor league life, I mean, it is not glamorous at all. So I think a lot of people just don't understand. They don't, or people forget, you know, what it took for Austin to get here. I get all the comments, oh, y'all's life is so easy. And yeah, he's doing great now. You know, he's in the big leagues now. He's kind of got an established role on a team. But it was not always easy. Like it took a lot to get here. The minor league system is tough. So,
and I think people just put you in the category of not human, just content creators. And I think that we need to glamorize and normalize that everybody is human here. Everybody deserves grace and kindness. Just because you're an influencer or content creator, like, doesn't mean you're still not a human and you still don't do everyday life
yeah, it
things,
doesn't mean I don't have feelings.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you still have feelings. It also doesn't mean you still don't have eyeballs. We see everything, y'all.
That's another thing.
I can see the comments.
Oh my God. And I don't see them all, but I see enough. I had one a couple weeks ago, and there was a girl tagging her friend, and she's like, this is the one I was talking about. Like, ew, so annoying. And I just wanted to comment back and be like, I see, like they were literally commenting on my video almost as like if
like texting.
Yes. Well, I don't even know if they're like testing, but it was almost like as if I wouldn't see it. They're like, oh, like this is the girl I was talking about, like, ew. And I'm like, you know, I see that. Like, I can see this. Like, and they're just like, and then I think they went down as like a thread of them just being like, oh, yeah, like I've seen her. And I'm like,
So
her, like, I can see you typing this.
I would have been like, I can see you guys. Do you guys want to talk face to face?
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. I mean, I wish I knew how to end it. I really wish I did.
I know, like a lot of things, there's just so much going on and you're like, can't social media just be the one good thing, the positive, like, and I feel like
Right.
now,
Try to keep my page as positive as possible, but
yes, I feel like all everybody ever talks about is now the hate on social media instead of the good on social media, because we are all trying to raise awareness on it so it can stop. But then it's like it's like a cycle, it's like a loop, and like, when does that loop stop?
exactly. Like I was thinking, recently I feel like I never used to respond with a video to the hate because I was so like afraid that people, if I responded to a video with, oh, gold digger, and then people would be like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, she is, like, I don't know, I was afraid to do it. And so then I've started doing it. And then I've thought lately, I'm like, wow, I've kind of been doing this a lot lately. Okay, maybe I should stop doing this, like stop responding to the hate, because it also does fuel it. But then I want to stand up for it and I want to bring awareness to it. But then also it still fuels the fire and it makes more people hate. But then also sometimes it does stop. I've only once I've actually gotten an apology DM. It's only happened once. But then, most of the time, you click on the comment and it says comment not available. So it's like, usually they're like, oh shoot, like, let me delete my comment. It's like, hey, maybe you realize like you're in the wrong. But then I also posted a video the other day and the woman, basically she literally just said like, you're not pretty, like get over yourself. And I was just like, okay. So I like responded to it. And then she still in the messages is just like ragging me, like your eyebrows, you're this, you're ugly, you're that. And I'm just like, she still doesn't get it. So
I don't think people will understand until it happens to them. And that is sad because, and it's like, I don't wish people to get hate comments or like death threats or anything. But it's honestly like, unless you're either like playing the game or if you're a content creator, then you're the only ones who really know how this feels and to speak out about it. But it's like, you shouldn't have to speak out about it in the first place because it shouldn't be happening, because these are probably people who are younger than you.
A lot of it is. And I haven't had time to do it anymore. Now I have 2 kids, but to be completely honest, oh my gosh, about a year ago, I had 2 little girls, probably within the span of a month, comment something really mean on my TikTok. And it was so simple. I just clicked on their page and they had the little link where you could go to their Instagram. I click on their Instagram and right there was a picture of their mom. So what do you think I did? I DM'd their mom and I let them know. And I was just like, hey, like, just so you know, I mean, I'm a mom also. I have a son, a 1-year-old son. I said, if my child was doing this, I would want to know. So I'm just letting you know. I did it to 2 girls. One mom was very thankful and said, I'll have a discussion. The other mom was not, actually stood up for their daughter. And I was like, okay, I guess now I get why your daughter's doing this. Because you're a mom.
Apple doesn't fall from the tree these days.
Yes. I mean, I haven't done it since. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a lot. It's a lot of work. I mean, well, not really a lot of work. If I can't find your mom's account in like 3 minutes, I'm not doing it. But I did do that about a year ago. But I'm just like, I mean, I would want to know if my 2 sons were 12 years old and doing that. I would want to know so I could like be like, go to your room. I don't know, something. I don't know what I would do. Yeah. I'm not in the disciplining stage yet. My kids are still young, but I would do something.
Good. I know. Well, like, and it's so sad because I bet you have these parents are like, wait, what? My child did what? Because it's, secret accounts, fan pages and page. Like, I bet you like, there's such a dark hole, you can just tap to tap to tap to tap and it'll lead you each page to each page.
And you can hide behind anything. People can hide. And that's where I think all the fake accounts have come from. I think those have just grown. Before I never really noticed any fake accounts. Now it's just, I'd say about 50% of the mean comments are from accounts that have 0 followers, no profile picture, or the user 3756542. Like,
oh yeah,
no username, nothing. I wish TikTok wouldn't allow you to have that as a username. I think that's kind of,
I know, it's weird.
It's weird, and I feel like it fuels people to just be able to hide behind that. I mean, I guess people would still probably just create some weird username anyway to still push hate, but yeah.
Well, and I love how Instagram, and I learned this from my sister, that Instagram can allow you to like not see likes, because also likes is a big thing. Like, and then I think I even learned this from TikTok. It might even been from Charlie and Dixie. I really like them. People think it's weird, but
I think they're great.
I think they're awesome. I think they're great. Their whole family.
Their parents go them. Like their parents are seem like they're really helpful to them. So I can't even imagine all that they go through.
But I think it was them that you can filter out comments. So like on like I learned that and I was like, I didn't know that. That's cool.
You can, but then you want to know what I also learned in that show, which made me really sad. I have not gotten to this point yet because I do block quite a few people. Now, I don't, if you leave one mean comment, I'm not going to block you. But if I notice that you are coming back video after video, or you leave multiple comments, or you still won't stop, then I'll block you. So, I mean, I've got a pretty large block list, I feel like, after a year and a half. That I've blocked people, but then on the Charlie and Dixie show that they did on Hulu, someone asked and was like, well, why don't you just block these people? And she was like, my block list is full. Like, I guess TikTok puts a amount that people that you can block. I'm like, that's so sad. So like, she can't even keep blocking.
Yeah, that is sad. And the fact that her block list is full, that's even more sad at 17 and 20 years old.
That is sad. I wonder how big the list can get. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet, but I hope I never get there. But
do you answer your DMs?
I don't think I can get DMs on TikTok. And that is one really nice thing. I think I could count on one hand how many negative DMs I've gotten.
Okay, good.
Don't believe I can get DMs on TikTok. I think I have that turned off. And honestly, most people really don't. I'm really thankful for Instagram because I feel like I've got lots of more people that follow me on TikTok, but the haters don't tend to go over to the Instagram, at least in my experience. I don't tend to have, I think I count on one hand how many times I've gotten a negative DM on my Instagram. Same thing with a negative comment on my Instagram. So that's really lucky. It seems like most of my haters, or I don't know if I have haters, but most of the mean people, thankfully, are staying on TikTok. Good. Thankfully. So I really don't get issues with DMs, if I'm being completely honest. I've very, very little, which is really nice.
Yeah. Do you answer like the nice ones, or do people DM you in general? Yeah,
I try to do my best. I feel like I probably answer probably 75% of them. It also kind of depends on when you DM me, if I answer DMs at certain times, even, talking to you, for example. I've been in New York this weekend. So, trying not to like be on my phone or
check. Yeah, totally understand.
My DMs notifications turned off. I have all my notifications on Instagram turned off because if not, it would just be like notification after notification sometimes on my phone. So
that gives me like anxiety when I have too many notifications on my phone.
Me too. And I also have my notifications on TikTok turned off. So that's why I don't have anything coming through. I'll, turn on TikTok or open up TikTok and then I'll see everything. So I don't actually know like what's really going on. That's helpful with, having kids but yeah, I do try to respond to as many Instagram DMs. I do always say that too. I'm like, if you have a question, if you need something, DM me on Instagram because I tend to pay a lot more attention to those than I do than I can on TikTok. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I think that covers everything. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, I think I'm good. I don't know. I don't know where to like start or like where or like how like we start or like how to make it better. I mean, I feel like talking about this stuff, I feel like sometimes standing up for yourself, sometimes I'm not really sure, but I hope people realize that we're all human and I don't know. I hope everyone just be nicer, be kinder. Kindness is cool.
I said that to the girl I nannied the other day. I was like, kindness is cool. And because she said it to me, she's like, Maddie, do you know what I learned today? And I was like, what? And she goes, kindness is cool. And she said that to her brother. And it was like the sweetest thing. And I was like, my heart just circle.
Good. Yes. It's like you get the, I feel like in high school, it's always like, oh, well, like the nice guy never wins. No, that's not true. That's not true. Nice people win. I promise you. You may not win in high school. Like maybe the mean people win in high school, but in the grand scheme of things in life, nice people win. So be nice.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on. Thank you for everybody who listens to my podcast. Just remember to go be kind humans. And if you want to see change in your community or on the social media world, it takes one conversation and one action. I hope everybody has a great week, and we will be back next week for another episode of You're Your Biggest Critic podcast. Thank you guys. Bye.